The West is losing to China and Easterners, and no one's really doing anything about it. We know that the CCP are trying to infiltrate a number of our areas, academia, obviously the banking system in the City of London, but there's a bigger battle going on. There's a race right now when it comes to the space programs. And CNN reported that China's historic crewed mission now arrived at the new space station. Now, this is an interesting timing when it comes to this topic because we've had the recent space traveling stories about how it's a waste of money. Should NASA or the Britain or the European agency even bother wasting taxpayers' money on these sort of programs? But putting aside the government's role in this, in terms of private enterprise, Westerners, we need to do something about this because, as Tom Harwood tweeted, China is well underway at constructing its new space station. 5 out of the 11 flights have been completed already. Meanwhile, the International Space Station is due to retirement by the end of the decade. Now, neither NASA nor the West in general yet have plans for a replacement, potentially leaving the skies to the CCP. Well, that's spot on. What are we going to do? Because you know that there's a big problem right now when it comes to tackling the problems on this planet. But some of the problems here could be resolved by having the technologies that we get from space programs. Now, some of the stuff that we have now achieved, the technological advances, is because we went out there, we made discoveries, and everything in terms of obviously the online world, in terms of the cyber security battles that we're currently facing, the laser programs, everything is because of that. And if we allow the CCP to reach there before us and to completely take over, this is not some sort of Star Wars situation. It's not really about conquering the planets. No. It's a very, very simple version of space travel. This is simply about just being outside our planet to make sure that we are making discoveries, and we are leaving the CCP to be allowed to completely take over. NASA have given up. Fine, but American taxpayers' money not being wasted. But at least national governments in the West need to allow the private enterprise and private individuals to spend their own money if they wish to do so, to do actually the things that they want to do. Right now, essentially, the space programs are nationalized. The states and governments control them. So if the American government or the British government don't want to waste taxpayers' money on this, then at least liberalize the programs so that we're free, the people who have the money and people who are curious, like Elon Musk, to be allowed to discover, to be allowed to expand. Otherwise, the CCP have the money, have the resources, and have the mission to take over. And then that way, they're going to completely conquer not just the world, but also the outside world.